What's up, everybody out there? Welcome back to the Addicted Fishing Podcast. Before we get this thing started, we want to throw out a big shout out and a thank you to our sponsor, Nick Wax, for sponsoring this podcast. Nick Wax is a Gore-Tex replenisher. Saves your butt in the wintertime. I just finally did my coats again. Talked about this almost every live feed, but I did it.
You finally did it.
And I did it right, and it worked really good.
No kidding.
I was getting soaked. And
How often after?
Once a season, I would say. I mean, you know, when a good year like this where you get a lot of rain, I have a couple different jackets, but I did all three jackets at once and it worked really well. So, but we're talking about something a little different than the cold and the rain, even though that's what's coming. We're talking about spring, boys. We got Eric Swanson in the house. Of course, as always, we got Cam sitting here next to me, and we're going to talk some spring prep.
That's right. It is a time of year. If you really think about things in the Northwest, I mean, whether you're, Washington, Oregon, or honestly anywhere. I mean, bet the Great Lakes guys are probably itching to start talking about spring. They're probably tying leaders, wrapping gear, getting
the
rods.
ice is melting, bud.
Oh, the
Snow to melt.
Whoa, runoff time. Yeah. But no, it's just time to talk about it. But yeah, we got Eric Swanson in the studio for that voice.
Yes. So spring Chinook. So I'm Eric Swanson with Eric Swanson Outdoors. Here in the studio with the boys talking spring and looking forward to it. It's kind of one of those seasons where everybody's excited to get out of the house and get it going. So looking forward to it. I can't wait
to just have those like nice bird chirping afternoons.
Dude, those 60-degree days where it's sunny and everybody's mowing their grass. And
you bring the shorts to take off over the waders and but then you're still freezing your butt off and nice brisk nights. Oh, that's great.
Yes, good.
When it's like 60 degrees and you're out there trolling on the Columbia, and then you look to the south and there's a black cloud.
Yes,
and then it's hailing on you and 30 degrees less, and then 20 minutes later, everyone runs off the river, and then 20 minutes later, it's sunny and nice again.
Oh my gosh,
that's the coolest. That's some of the most dramatic weather of the year for sure.
Those days where you're just sweating, and all of a sudden, like you say, Cam, that storm rolls in and it drops 30 degrees, and you're freezing
and then you catch your limit of fish.
Right, and then they bite.
Storm bite, baby.
Bite.
So what these guys are really talking about the most is spring Chinook salmon that we have out here in the Northwest. I know the guys get some in the Great Lakes. A lot of you guys get them all the way up into Canada and into Alaska and all the way down to California. It's a big thing on the West Coast because really it is hands down the best table fare of anything that we get an opportunity to catch. So
definitely.
That's right. The freak out is on, as I call it. There's already been a few of them caught in our neck of the woods. And honestly, I was kind of disappointed that there was a couple caught because, I mean, they got caught. One got caught on the first. Another one got brought in, I think, on the second.
On the second, the day after.
Yeah. Yep. And it's really disappointing because most of the time, those first fish kind of trickle into the Fisherman's Marine does a couple of contests where the first guys bring keepers, springers in.
Get that $100 gift card.
That's right. And it's like, but usually you get like this week of like rumor mill and people posting old pictures to kind of screw with your buddies. Yeah. Right. They're like, oh, you get to screw with your friends for a couple days, and
post some old pictures.
I heard there was two caught, but they were both wild. Darn.
Yeah. Oh, shoot. Yeah.
Nope, guy just walked right in on February 1st and game over the whole thing.
17.
Here we are.
Yeah. Nice. Both those fish are nice quality.
What's funny is the second guy, the Kerry Becker guy, I played volleyball with that guy. I've known him.
Oh, really?
I've known him for 20
I saw you comment on the
years.
picture like you knew him.
It's just crazy to think that, and he's gone ex-beach ball player.
Yes.
He's out grinding for springers in February.
You can't get enough of the beach, man.
Yeah.
Not in this area you can't. You might as well find something else to do. So
I heard somebody say it's not called the beach here, it's the coast.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Those guys are pretty hardcore for springer fishing on the 1st and 2nd of February. I mean, dude, I think so. When I start springer fishing early, I consider early for me like the end of February. And these guys are out there the 1st of February. I mean, good for them. It produced.
Yeah.
There's been some years though, like where we've had like productive fishing the last week of February, like productive, like guys going out and getting 2 and 3 chances. And I know for most of you salmon anglers, if you're not from around here, that doesn't sound like a lot or really good. But if you're a springer fishing and you're given time in February, 2-3 chances, that's hot fishing.
Very hot.
Even, springtime, wintertime, blackmouth fishing, like in a lot of Alaska and northern Washington and Canada, they're still not getting more than 2 or 3 days. I mean, I'd say that's damn good fishing. And
that's crazy.
It looks like, we say that all the time. Hopefully we're getting forecasted on the West Coast for a better than what we're used to salmon run here for the spring, and a good run shows early. And so it's cool to see hatchery fish even showing up. And hatchery fish at a point on the Willamette River where it's a pretty long ways. They came quite a ways. They're going.
And good quality fish, too.
They're going to show up to a dam here pretty soon.
Right.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
And both of them, weren't dinks either. They were nice
4-year-olds.
fish. Oh yeah, good quality fish. So
What's cool about that is, like you said, an early run shows early, and it's just not a coincidence that, or a big run, shows early, and well,
early run shows early.
An early run shows eearly.
Yeah.
There you
Really?
go. Really, oh man, knocking it
Write
out of the
that one
park.
down, guys.
Knocking it out of the park. You're
Yeah.
welcome. Anyway,
That's awesome.
but no, the Willamette's projected is supposed to have 50,000 springers, which means
yes,
we could probably catch a springer in there solidly the next 4 or 5 months straight.
exactly. In the last couple of years, I've noticed, in that Portland Harbor-ish area, June's been the hot month. I mean, those fish definitely keg up there in June, and it's, it was, we had a pretty good season last year, and, predicting 20% more this year, we could have some real beatdown days.
Oh, no kidding.
So if you guys aren't from around here and you're not from around, the West Coast, and you're looking to get an opportunity to maybe travel out and fish with some of us in a year where not very many people are getting to travel outside the country or doing any of their fun trips that they have planned, don't hesitate to give one of the guides or somebody in the Northwest, whether it be California, Oregon, or Washington, or even in Idaho. The Idaho fishery should be awesome this year as well, because they're actually going to get to fish. And we have a good snowpack coming. It might be the year to come out and try your hand at some of the best tasting fish in the world.
Yeah, and I wanted to touch on that a little bit too, because we get these guys. I was talking to a client today, and I want to kill winter steel. I don't want to. He's like, calls up, wants to book a trip, whatever. And I'm like, he's like, I just want to catch him. I just want to keep him. So I'm like, okay, well, wild steelhead off the table. That's kind of what we're going to be picking on the next couple of weeks. I go, oh, there's some hatchery fish. Like, I want one of those. I'm like, well, if you wait a month or two, might be able to get you out on a springer, which is a fish that's going to get caught and not spawn for 6, 7, 8 months.
Yeah, the fall.
Versus a winter steelhead, which you're going to catch and it's going to spawn in a week.
In your hands.
In your hands.
Right. Yeah.
On the bottom of your boat.
But that table fare is just super, super important. And at the end of the day, when these fish are showing up in February, March,
oh man,
April, and May, they're still not spawning till September, and they just make the absolute best salmon in the world. They don't even have these fish running in Alaska. Right. I think it's a lot of snow and ice up there, right?
There's a lot of snow and ice, right? But they catch these particular salmon out in the ocean.
Yeah,
correct? And some parts of Southeast.
That's a good point.
Not all of Alaska.
They do intercept a few of them on the way down.
Totally.
But they're not swimming up their rivers. Those are our fish. Leave them alone.
Right.
All you Alaskans listening to this podcast, leave them alone.
They're ours. Just kidding.
And all you in Puget Sound, leave our Columbia River fish alone too.
Yeah.
Everyone just said, yeah, right.
So you were talking, I heard you guys talking earlier about, the for those of you that live out in the Northwest and are really loving this podcast because we're talking about the springer stuff. You said we're going to get to fish lower in the Columbia system than we ever have been the last
rumors.
Yeah.
Cross our fingers.
Okay, I spoke too soon.
Well,
no.
Hopefully we're going to hear.
But what does that do for the anglers out there? I mean, obviously it puts them below more big rivers, so on and so forth. But
Spreads everyone out.
So just to talk about the Columbia, the last few years we've got a bunch of tributaries that enter the big Columbia River, and we don't talk a lot about river names, but I mean it's pretty obviously what they are on the Southwest Washington side. And when those spring Chinook runs have been depressed, or when they don't meet their hatchery escapement, because those are hatchery runs, those are not wild spring Chinook runs, but the hatcheries still need to get their allotment to basically procreate the run and make it again. Mm-hmm. And so those amounts are anywhere between 1,000 and 1,200 fish, depending on which one of the 3 hatcheries need it. But since the forecasts the last 3 years have been coming in right at that level, they haven't really been able to allot any lower river fishing. On top of that, too, the Willamette runs were coming in good, but not crazy good. And then also the upriver runs aren't coming in good. So they didn't have a real reason to open up down below and just to take on a lot of that risk within the fisheries.
Right.
So they've been pigeonholing us.
Yes. Kegging us all up into one spot. And, most of those trolls being on the Washington side of the river, we're cutting all those Willamette River fish off from being able to catch them. So fishing down below the Willamette in that lower river, we're going to get all the Columbia fish and, 50,000 Willamette fish to target as well.
And the key to that is the 50,000 Willamette fish. When you have those mixed into the catch, our season is set always into it. Our seasons are always, our quotas are always based on a constraining stock. So the constraining stock for the Columbia is the upper Columbia River fish. Well, the more of these other fish that we catch in the lower Columbia, if we mix those in and we can fish below there, that buffers that catch. Totally. So instead of 100% of the catch basically being considered upriver fish, or a very large percentage of it, 90 plus, if we're fishing below where those Willamette fish are going to try for that big run's 50,000 is a big run for the Willamette.
Yes.
We get to kind of add those in the mix, and those are essentially freebies. Like statistically, they're freebies.
Which keeps everybody fishing longer.
Keeps the season open.
Yep. Keep us, and those fish also are predominantly hatchery fish as well too. So it's, I mean, that's the end of the day. Like after the hatcheries make their escapement with a 50,000 fish in the limit, they're all going to make their escapement. Every extra fish, really, if it gets on the dinner table, somehow, some way, it's a win.
And I need all the help I can get with hatchery fish, because I had one day last year, a bachelor, where I had released 5 wild fish in a row. And I was like, this is the best Springer day I've had in a while. And I couldn't keep a single fish. So
they're all giant.
Yes. Did you have guys yelling in the boat like, I think it's clipped?
Yeah.
And then they sprout that fin.
Oh my
instantly.
gosh. Yes.
Materialized.
Yeah. You see it flash next to the boat and they're like, this is the one, get it in the net. And you scoop it up and has this big old rudder on it. And it's 20 pounds and you're crying.
Oh, that's disgusting.
So I'm looking forward to, crossing our fingers that we have that lower river, because I like to catch and keep.
So just to everyone know on this podcast, we may not get it. It was just some discussion that was brought up earlier. There's no way of telling. So we got to throw that in there for you guys, but it's here's to wishful thinking.
Yes. Cross our fingers.
So what else then? What else happens after those spring Chinook come? They shut you guys down in April, and we can't go out there and play anymore. What else is on the docket? I know we talk a lot of walleye and a lot
spring
of trout
walleye
here at Addicted.
Yep.
So
fortunately the Springer run like that, you chase them into the tribs. Like our Columbia season ain't going to go past the first week in April. Might get a day or two one way or the other on that, but that's generally been the kind of the common. And with what we have for upriver fish, if the lower river fish show up real heavy in the catch and the uprivers don't, maybe we'll get an extension, but that's first week of April. But we can chase those fish into the Willamette, and some of those tributaries that I talked about earlier all have pretty much almost double, if not more, of the forecast of what we've seen the last few years. So there hopefully will be opportunity there. Now, some of our friends above Bonneville, though, like some of those runs that everyone's very used to having, those ones look pretty depressed, and it's going to be real interesting to see where the effort and where the fish basically show up, because it could change a lot of things. But
interesting,
and everything's a prediction. I mean, I remember this last fall where they predicted X amount of fish, and we saw it was like 20% higher or something than they had predicted.
Oh yeah, they under predicted.
Big time.
But after the Columbia closes down too, I kind of transitioned for about 3 weeks. You talked about spring trout, and I'm thinking kokanee. Yeah. So it's
I'm thinking spring walleye.
Exactly.
Yeah. The thing is after we chase springers for 2.5 months, kind of looking for something different to do. Yeah. And so it's nice that we have multiple opportunities in the spring, different, species to target.
Well, and I think it's something too. Cameron, I feel like a long time ago now, kind of encouraged this thought process of, and mainly because of depressed summer steelhead runs and stuff that we couldn't go out and utilize, but being able to branch out and use all the resources that the state gives us for fishing opportunity. There's a lot of stuff that is ignored. Obviously, everybody goes to the stock ponds and stuff like that, but these kokanee fisheries, these bass fisheries, these walleye fisheries, and these things that are a ton of fun to do and super interactive fishing that we're forced to do now, but still create an awesome opportunity for everybody to stay out there and one to get younger and younger anglers into fishing.
I have not seen a year in the last 6, 7, 8 years where looking at the scope of like what's going on this year, and not just with like what I'm doing personally, because I'm going to fish a bunch of bass tournaments and stuff, so I got them littered all over the schedule. But like spring Chinook, the lengthy season that we're going to get out of the 50,000 fish, some of the kokanee prospects that I'm seeing, and not just my local lakes, but everywhere, the size of those fish this year.
You're gonna get spring anxiety, aren't you?
Oh, the walleye fishing already, and what some of the guys are doing on some of these staging walleye.
Right.
The summer Chinook forecast is bonkers good.
80,000.
Not gonna get any sleep for 6 months.
Bonkers good.
No.
Right? The fall forecast for coho just came out at 1.7 mil.
Wowza.
You remember what happened when we had the 1.6 mil?
Yeah.
Remember the 3 fish limit that went all the way through August in Marine Area 1?
Excellent.
Like, we're like, do we want to fish buoy 10 or do we want to go catch 3 silvers? If we even get a shred of that, and yes, before you guys all start poo-pooing this, remember 2 years ago when they predicted 1 million and we only got 450? Yeah, guess what? There's not a giant blob out there to kill them this year.
Right. And if one
Not
point,
yet anyways.
if 1 point, if they're off by 500,000 and we get them, 1 million too.
That was still an epic run a couple years ago. I'm sorry, it wasn't in the Columbia, but every tributary that any of us fished was a damn good year.
It was good. The thing was, we didn't have the water though that fall. Remember, like if we would have had that run,
right? We were fishing
water,
lowest waters I've seen.
Right,
in December, still catching coho.
And it was so I mean, we had some different things.
Of the fisheries.
That's right. It was too little water, but the fish were there, and ultimately, you know what? And then also and little insider stuff. Not going to throw numbers, but URBs for the Columbia River look freaking awesome.
Really?
And it's like, I'm looking at the scope of this year and, planted stuff and planted, we've got some other announcements we're going to make later on, like what we're doing with Addicted. And just looking at the next 8 months, it's like, oh
exciting.
My God.
Yes.
I mean, we've got different entities coming out from across the country. We're doing it's just going to be nuts.
So much to look
I'm
forward to.
I'm so optimistic to get out there and get this spring run started. It's not even crazy.
Yeah, just hit the ground running, and before we know it, it'll be October, and it's like you blink and it's already October.
Oh, and then we'll be wanting to sleep for 2 months.
Yeah,
but you know what?
Yes.
What else?
And it's well deserved.
And after last year and missing out on the whole spring Chinook run for the COVID thing,
oh my gosh,
I'm gonna take it to them. Like it ain't gonna be funny.
Yeah, COVID won't even exist by then, anyways. It'll all be healed.
I hope so. Sure, tired of it.
Stay safe out there, folks.
Yeah, stay safe. All right. Well, I think it's obvious that there's going to be a lot of fun fishing to be had all across the country this year.
Yes.
And going into the spring. So it's been a long, but still is winter. Let's not kid ourselves. The groundhog hasn't seen a shadow yet.
It hasn't even been winter. It hasn't even really been winter yet.
We're expecting some snow this week around here. Yeah. And I'm looking forward to some snowy days on the river for sure.
Me too.
Get us conditioned for Michigan.
Yes. Well, Eric, thank you so much for joining us.
Hey, you're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Thank you guys out there for listening to this podcast. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you guys out there on the water.
See you guys on the river.
There, guys.